So next we'll begin with the overview of SQL Server, and then let's move on with the installation instruction. And I have uploaded the videos for the SQL Server and SQL Server Management Studio installation videos. I believe all of you have installed it already. Okay, and you can watch that video, and then we will take a look at the different data types that are available in SQL Server. And along with this, we'll also explore the built-in functions that are available in SQL Server for each of the data types. Okay, that also we'll take a look at it. And what is SQL Server? What is SQL Server? It is a Microsoft product. It is a Microsoft product. It is a relational database management system. Okay, it is a relational database management system. And also different types of SQL Server editions are available. And I recommended you all to use the Express edition to install the software. And yeah, rest of them, see, the standard and enterprise is meant for enterprises. Okay, and they can afford the licensed one. It's too expensive. You cannot afford it. Developer one is not required. Better you can install the Express edition. Next, we will understand. I told you SQL Server is a relational database management system. First of all, let us understand what is database management system. Okay, so database management system is something like this one enables us to store the data in a centralized place in a database, database kind of a container. Okay, so the container, you store the data so that it will be secured. Once you store the data, you can retrieve it back anytime. And not only you can retrieve the stored data any point, at the same time, you can manipulate the data. You can insert the data, you can delete the data, you can modify the data. They use the term called CRUD operations. The interview, they'll ask this. They may ask you these kind of questions. Well, can you tell me what are the CRUD operations that you can perform it? So first of all, what is a CRUD? Create, read, update, delete. Okay, you can insert a new record and you can create a record. You can read the data from a table. You can modify the data using update statement. You can delete the record using delete statement. So once you store the data, you can do all kind of CRUD operations. But again, you need to have some privileges. The database administrator, they are the one responsible for giving the privilege. Not all the users are given delete, the delete privilege. Not all the users are given the update also. There are some cases you just select the read the data only. Okay, read only access they may give you. There are some cases. But in general, CRUD is nothing but this one. Okay, and you can insert the record, you can modify the record, you can delete the record. All these operations you can perform with the database. Now the question is, what is a relational database management system? Supposing you have two tables like employee and department table, you want a report wherein it should show the employee name, department name, plus salary. In this case, yes, employee name, salary is available here, whereas the department name is not available in this table. Instead, it is available in another table. If I want to display in my report the employee name, salary, and then the department name, you need to join these two tables because the columns, right? The department name is available in another separate table. The salary and employee name is available in another table. To get the information from these two tables, then you need to join these two tables. To join these two tables, you need to have a common column exists between the tables. With the common columns only, you can create a relationship. Right? Once you create the relationship, you should be able to join these two tables and you can retrieve the data from more than one table simultaneously. So this is called your relational database. So you need to create the relationship between the tables based on the common column. Only then you can retrieve the data from more than one table. That is called your relational database management system. So apart from this, we have non-relational database system is also available. So those are called your document data store, MongoDB. In Hadoop system, they say MongoDB, and you have other column-oriented databases. I discussed about column-oriented database, right? So like Apache, Cassandra, HBase, and these are the column-oriented database. And key value store and graph database also available. These are related to non-relational database. Yes, you should be knowing, at least what is non-relational database, right? Some extent. Next, we'll explore what is SQL and TSQL. The SQL is also called as SQL. Okay, the SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It is a type of programming language called a query. Okay, so let's say you have a SQL server. Here you have created a table called products. You have created a table called products. All the products that you select is stored in this SQL Server database. To access the values stored in the products table, we use a select statement. Using the statement, we can retrieve the data from the table. The SQL query is pretty simple and straightforward because it is a plain English-like language. Select star means all. Select all from all the columns, all the records from the product table. That is what it is. This is the language we use it to communicate to the SQL server. You have a SQL client, in this case SSMS, SQL Server Management System. In SQL SSMS, you write the SQL query, something like this, and this query will be sent to your backend SQL server, and then this query will get executed against the products table that is available in SQL server. The output of the query will be sent back to your client. So here, using SQL, we can communicate with the database. That is what I'm trying to say. So in a Microsoft SQL Server, we have something called Transact SQL. It is an extension of our SQL language. Most of the RDBMS database system, if you see Oracle, DB2, so they use SQL, but this is specific to Microsoft SQL Server. So what is the difference between SQL and TSQL? As the name says, it's a Transact SQL. What is Transact SQL? It is a batch, or it's a batch. Okay, it is something like you are grouping the set of SQL statements, and then you want to, in this case, only one SQL statement. Let's say you have 10 SQL statements. You can combine all the 10 SQL statements, and then you can send it in one go to your SQL server using TSQL. You can send it as a batch. It's something like the marriage hall, right? So the marriage, you have dining hall. What you do is you send 100 people in one go to have their lunch. Once that batch is over, that is called batch. The next batch, you take another 100 people, you send them. Batch by batch, you send them. If you send one person, what will happen? Entire dining hall is for only one person. Right? Let's say for this specific marriage, right? 10,000 people they visited. So each and every person, if you send it one by one to the dining hall, such a big dining hall, it is completely illogical, right? So batch by batch is something, when it comes to SQL and the TSQL, you group the SQL statement, you send everything in one batch as a single unit, so that you don't have to send each statement one after the other. That will take longer time. So when a batch is executed, which is nothing but the set of SQL statement will get executed, the SQL Server database engine executes all these statements in the batch as a single unit. So in case of any error of the statements in the batch, the entire batch will get rolled back and none of the statements are executed. Okay, so now the question is, why batch? Batches are useful for various reasons. Okay, so this allows us multiple statements to be executed together, right, which will be more efficient than executing each statement individually, right? You can group the set of SQL statements together so that it will make your job simple to manage and troubleshoot your complex SQL code. Okay, so for that purpose, the TSQL is very much helpful. So this is the installation step. The SQL Server, I always recommend, right? So you do the Googling and find out, download a Microsoft SQL Server, download SQL Server Management. This is a client, okay? I just open the SQL Server Management Studio, SSMS. Just type SSMS, you will find this icon. Click on it. Guys, I will tell you. So these are the installation steps, and if you can better watch my installation video, that can save time. In case of any issues, let me know. Okay. Next, we will jump into the data types that are available in SQL Server. What are the data types that are available in SQL Server? We'll see it now.